Hello, and thank you for joining the Champion Within podcast, your premier go-to spot for unlocking your winning mindset. Whether you're an athlete looking to elevate your game to the next level, a coach leading the charge, an enthusiastic parent cheering from the sidelines, or an educator molding young minds, the Champion Within podcast episodes are packed with value, sharing the tools and strategies to unlock your potential and rise to new heights. Hosted by mentor, coach, and mindset leader Kate McCauley. Let's sit back and enjoy today's episode while discovering your champion within. And now, here's Kate.
Hey champions, thank you for hanging out with us today. I'm excited to share this guest with you. If you've been listening to the podcast for a little while and you were around for season 3, you know that my group chat with the Penn State athletes and their athletic director was the highest listened to episode. So I had to dig a little deeper, bring the athletes on because I want to hear more about their personal journeys. I know you're going to love what Sierra shares with us today. I'll admit I'm a little bit biased because Sierra plays on the basketball team, and I, too, was a basketball player at Penn State Delco at the time, which is now Penn State Brandywine. I just have a special place in my heart for anybody who's involved in that program. I'm curious to learn a little bit more about what it's like now and just hear some more about her journey. I think that Sierra shared some things that current athletes, coaches, parents can learn from during our first conversation. We're going to dig a little deeper on those things today. I know she's probably going to share some things that you could steal to grow and learn from. Sierra, thank you for jumping in today. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on here again.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back with me. I loved our conversation. I think the part that really stood out to people when we were talking was you were so honest with your journey from high school, which was interesting in some ways because it was COVID and it wasn't the normal, whatever normal is, but it wasn't the normal way to graduate high school and then head to college and show your skills as an athlete, or really even just things in general when you were heading to college. You shared very openly that you felt that your coach didn't believe in you when you were that high school athlete, specifically related to sending film out, and that you ended up at Delco, or I always say Delco, Penn State Brandywine. All my people graduate with me from Penn State. We still call it Delco. So you ended up at Penn State Brandywine and you love where you are. It worked out. I would love to hear if, I'm going to actually quote you when you said, I felt like he didn't believe in me. I'm wondering if there's anything you did there from the time you graduated till now that has helped you heal from that. Because I do think that when I felt that way in certain situations in my life, I kind of held on to it. And I'm wondering if you've done anything for yourself.
Yes, I kind of just show up for myself, and then also have my family, my friends who support me. And then after high school, I've definitely had some coaches who have changed that perspective for me. So that has definitely helped me in a lot of ways too. I mean, deep down, it just comes within myself because I know that I love the game so much and I wanted to succeed no matter what. I always put in the work for it. So I just knew anytime I worked hard, I would eventually get the results.
I love that. And I think that it's important for us to remember you got to keep working hard, and that not everybody is like that coach, and that you were able to see those other people. Was that hard for you when you were going to Penn State Brandywine for the basketball program to trust a coach when you first got in there?
Yes, it was. And then also, just coming in as a freshman, like you don't expect to, be a starter or to get a lot of minutes. So that definitely took a toll on me too. I was definitely, kind of worried to see what I was going to face my freshman year. Once I got to Brandywine, I just found my people and the coaches that believed in me. So, and then also I just still believed in myself. So I didn't really let it affect me as much.
Do you have a story or a moment that's popping into your brain right now where you felt a little nervous or anxious? If you could just share what it was, what you felt like, and how did you believe in yourself?
Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, even to this day, I still get nervous before every game, just because, you never know what you're about to expect and who you're playing against. I just always sit there and I just remind myself, like, You obviously didn't make it far for no reason. You put in all the time and the work outside of practice, before and after. There's people out there that look up to you, because I've definitely had some people who come up to me after my games and tell me how well I've played. And I actually had one specific moment, and it was my sophomore year, and I really wasn't playing much my sophomore year. After a game, someone's parent had came up to me and said that my daughter like really loves your game and the way that you play, and she
Oh,
wanted to know if she could say hi to you. And I like was like, wow, like I would never expect anything like that, playing at the, D3 level, and then also like I wasn't playing much my sophomore year. That really made me feel well. But just like overall, just reminding myself, you're obviously here for a reason. You worked so hard to get here, so take the time and enjoy it.
I love that story. And I love that are you thinking those thoughts or are you actually saying them to yourself when you're
Uh,
feeling that nervousness, which I think everyone, if we're being honest, feels nerves when you're about to compete or do anything in life.
I mean, it's a little bit of both. I do, sometimes talk to myself, even on the court sometimes too. Just tell myself everything's gonna be okay. And then, like I just said, you're here for a reason. You made it this far, and just keep pushing strong.
I love that self talk, even if it's not intentional and you just happen to say it in the moment. Some
Mhm.
people do things purposefully where they say a certain mantra or self talk before a game, during a game, it's different situations. And I was curious if you do that or if it just kind of happens. And then to have that mom and the little girl come up to you, it almost would be surreal for me to think this little girl wants to meet me. But
Yeah.
how amazing.
hmm
And then did you talk with her a little bit or what did you do?
Yeah, I got to talk to her. I asked her if she played. She did play. I think she was in like eighth grade at the time.
Okay.
She was wanting to play high school. So, I just told her, like, just keep going, just make sure you keep putting in the work. You never know what's going to happen. As long as you just show up for yourself and you surround yourself with people who actually care for you and want to see you do good, you're going to do good regardless. And I just also thanked her for, picking it, like, not only picking me out of everyone, but liking the way that I play. Just because at that
Right.
time I wasn't playing much. I didn't really have the best confidence that time of the year, so that really just made me feel good. I just told her to like thank you for, just choosing me, and then also coming up to me and wanting to speak to me.
Yeah, sometimes people think when they're coming up to you and saying, wow, we're impressed by you. We love seeing what you're doing, that it's for them. And it is because they are inspired by you. But it's also for us too when that happens. They don't even realize it. You're thinking, this is exactly what I needed right now. And this person didn't even know, as you mentioned, that you felt like you weren't playing enough. It was just you were in a space where you weren't feeling as confident. It's
Mhm.
almost like the universal lines you needed, a little pep talk, so to speak, from this person saying, "Oh, you know what? Look at me. I am here doing this thing." It's a reminder of the hard work, all of those things that you mentioned to get to where you were. I love that. I also love that you mentioned the people that you are surrounded with. And before we even get to that, tell everybody a little bit about who you are exactly, what high school you came from, what year you are now at Penn State Brandywine, your major, future plans. Then we're going to dive back in.
I graduated from Interboro High School. I still live around there. I live in Glen Olden, actually, which is about like 20 minutes from Penn State Brandywine. And I'm a senior at Penn State Brandywine right now. I have been playing basketball for about 11 years now. I've played all 4 years of high school, played all 4 years of college, finishing up my senior year right now. My major is corporate communications, and after graduation, I plan on working in the sports industry. I'm keeping my options open just because I want to. My dream job is to work at ESPN. I wanted to build up my portfolio, my resume, these next few years. So hopefully one day I can get there.
Love it.
So, but I definitely want to work in like sports marketing or sports media. That's like
Okay.
my main goal right now.
I love that. It sounds fun. That's really cool. So you're a Delco girl, as am I. And on your team at Penn State Brandywine, it's very different than when I was there. When I played there, we were mostly Delco, if not all Delco. There may have been, I'm thinking right now, could have been one or two who were not Delco, but very close in the Delco area, not too far. What does your team look like as far as where your teammates are from?
This season, majority of my teammates live if not in the Delco area, at least about 20 minutes, like Westchester. There's only one girl who is out of state. Last year we had someone from Cali, myself, or we've had people from like Delaware. That's not too far, but it's definitely not in the Delco area.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, we've definitely had some people over time out of state.
I'm curious, did your Delco vibes from Interborough, whatnot, when you had the girls from Cali and Delaware, is it different working with and being a teammate when somebody's from a different place? And how did that Delco vibe help or hurt in some ways when you were trying to, work together as a team?
Yeah, so I think whether or not they were from Delco or not, I feel like the ones who were closer definitely bond a little bit more just because, we're familiar with the area. Maybe some of us have played against each other in high school, so we've kind
Mm,
of already seen each other's faces. For me personally, I never really let that affect me just because, like, I'm that type of person who's, like, very welcoming. It doesn't matter where you come from or, like, who you are. I just want to make sure that, like, especially as a team, we just, we ride together. So we're going to be together for the rest of the season and
I love
hopefully
it.
after this as well.
I love that. So speaking of that, I told all of you last time I look at Instagram and look at some different stuff that is going on, and I happened to notice a photo shoot that you and your teammates were doing. A couple questions related to that. I loved it, by the way. On the
Thanks.
back of your jersey, you just mentioned it, it said the word together. I'm curious to know, is that a team mantra? Is that something that was this season? Tell me about the togetherness.
Yeah, so we actually just got those jerseys last year. Honestly, I don't know who came up with that, but I'm very glad that they did because regardless, I still think my team, we know at the end of the day that we're all playing not only for ourselves, but we're playing for each other. So we have no choice but to work together, and basketball is a team sport. So I really think it's just a reminder for us sometimes when we're out there, like just look at the back of our jersey. It literally just says together. So that means we just got to stick together and we'll be okay. And whatever happens, happens as long as we, did it together.
I absolutely love that. And that's the jersey you wear all the time, right? That wasn't just the photo shoot.
Yeah, that's the jersey we wear every time, and it's also, I believe, it's on our gray ones as well. Definitely in
Okay.
our gray jerseys.
I think that the togetherness, as you mentioned, it's simple, but also covers everything. As an
Hmm.
athlete, especially as a basketball player out there, I want to tell you too, as a former basketball player, still an athlete, I work out, run, not like I used to when I was in college. Got to make sure I'm not pretending I'm still 22. But we as a team are still together in many ways. We have a group text, we connect with each other. If somebody's kid is doing something, we celebrate that kid, even if we're far away. Our coach recently had surgery and we're all, checking in with his wife. We are together to support each other in the good, in the crazy, in the sad. And that is just such a priceless gift that we had from our time at Penn State there's nothing like it, really. I love seeing it because I almost am looking into your future, knowing that those teammates of yours are going to be together, just like the back of your jersey says, in so many different ways for you. And
Hmm.
I love that. I just love that. I'm kind of jealous that we didn't have that. We had warm-ups that we still joke about the warm-ups. Our one teammate still has it. And the rest of us are like, why do we keep the warm-ups? I'm like, and now I'm thinking, why didn't we have something on there that said together? I also saw during the photo shoot that it was you and one of your friends who I assume is a close teammate of yours. You had alluded during the social media post that it was your last season together. I think she was number 45, if I'm correct. Is she a senior as well? And just tell me about that connection. I shared a little bit about how I am now with my girls who are on my team. How has that happened for you? You talked a little bit about surrounding yourself with these great people.
Yeah, so our connection is great. We met our freshman year. So yeah, she is a senior as well. She's literally like my sister. We used to get all the time, are you guys sisters? You guys twins? You guys this, that, and third? Just because like we spent so much time together that over the years we started to like look alike. We always
Okay.
on the court. Very grateful for her because we came in together and we're leaving together. We've seen each other through all the ups and downs. We've picked each other up from the
Hmm.
goods and the bads.
You
And
know her before?
no, actually, she's one of the ones who are out of state. She lives in North Carolina. is very special bond to me. And every time she goes on break, it's kind of like, oh, I'm gonna miss my bestie because she's gonna be gone for some time. And we're also talking now after school. We definitely want to make sure we keep it a priority to not only stay in touch, obviously, but to also like hang out, to take trips or something, just because we're gonna be so far away from each other and we won't see each other every day. But
Hmm.
yes, that's
You
definitely my
do have
ride.
to do that. And don't just say you're going to do it. You have to actually do that because it is a game changer, to keep it in sports terminology here. You need those people. When you don't have them in your life as much, it's different. You miss them. And it's just great to be able to do that. So plan it, literally put it on the calendar, book even if it's nothing major, just book a small place to go so that you can hang out and just be stupid, do stupid things
Yes.
and eat lunch and, just do the fun things that you might do if you were close by.
Mhm.
Ironically, sometimes when you're close by, you don't even see the people as much as we would like to. I think maybe everybody listening right now, we should all probably make an effort to do that because, as Sierra mentioned, when we're surrounded by people that make us feel good and help us believe in ourselves, we show up differently. And it's important. We need those people in our lives. I loved seeing it. I think it was a reel after the photo shoot. I could tell a connection between you two. And I was curious if you knew each other before. The women that I mentioned, I didn't know them before I got to Penn State. And now it feels like, how could I live my life without them? I'm excited for you to, have that next step in your
Mhm.
friendship. It's different, but it's wonderful too. I'm excited for you for that. I also saw some really cool things on your Instagram about different awards and things that you won. And I want to make sure that I get it correctly. I was looking at Instagram. I saw Academic All Conference Award. I also saw a John Fritz Sportsmanship Award. I think it is incredibly important when I'm working with kids at schools, if I'm going out and doing an assembly, or if I am working with a team in a workshop situation, or if I'm just working one-to-one with a client. If they're a student of any level, youth, college, that the word student athlete, student comes first. So I loved seeing that academic all conference and then the sportsmanship award. Why did you get chosen for the sportsmanship? What did they say when they did the little blurb about you?
Honestly, I don't really remember why I was chosen for that, but
Okay.
I definitely can see why they voted me for that because at the end of the day, yes, we are playing a sport and yes, we are trying to win, but at the end of the day, it's no real bad blood. If I see you're down and someone doesn't help you up, I'm gonna help you up or I'm gonna, tell you good job on that bucket. Like, I mean, we might be playing against each other, but like, if you did good, you did good. Like, I have to give
Right.
credit where it's due. I definitely see why they picked me just because, like I said, like, I don't want to see no one get hurt or, feel down or anyway. So I'm just going to pick that person up regardless.
I love that. That's great. The student athlete part, the all academic, what advice would you give? How do you balance being an athlete and a student? You have to keep your grades up in order to be eligible to play. What advice do you have, maybe for even a high school athlete or someone who's playing at the college level?
Yeah. So it's definitely hard. My parents always taught me that school is the number one priority. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You have to be able to get good grades to even play a sport. And 9 times out of 10, that's what's going to get you the furthest in life if you keep up your good work. And also that just translates outside of school and onto the court and everything. If you do good in school, you're most likely going to do good anywhere else that you do because you know that you have to put in the time, the effort. Sometimes you have to fail to succeed. So I think that also helps as well. But for me personally, I just take my grades very seriously. I make sure that when it comes to my homework and anything that I need to study for, I make sure I get that done prior to going to practice or prior to going to a game, just because once I get that out the way, I can stop, focusing on that and then I can really just lock in and focus on playing my sport and then, taking the extra time outside of practice to get into the gym. But as long as I get everything done on my schoolwork, then I'm good to do whatever I want outside of school.
That's a pretty simple tip for people too. Do that first.
Mhm.
And then it's not floating through your brain that I have to get this done. You can lock in and focus on practice or participating in whatever your sport competing is, if you have a game or whatever it is that you play. I think that's really great. I love that you just mentioned your parents, that they have been whispering, shouting it, however they're telling you. Are there things that they have said to you that stayed with you as reminders to get that done first? How do they help you? Or maybe when you were younger, you remembered something that they said that maybe a parent listening right now could steal from your parents' guidance.
Yeah, so when I was younger, at least from what I can remember, at least high school wise, my parents told me they definitely wanted me to aim for all A's and B's, and then they would reward me and my brothers for coming home with all A's and B's. I do remember in high school, my parents started, if you get all A's, we'll give you $100, and then if you get,
Okay.
you'll get something else. So I definitely all try to aim for all A's, and for the most part, I was very successful, and I brought that with me to college. I've definitely had some semesters where I've gotten all A's, and definitely tried to get the Dean's Award list too. I made that a few times.
Nice.
Yes, not only rewarding, like my parents rewarded us, they also just told us that, like I said, if you do good here, you're most likely going to do good anywhere else. So just to
Mhm.
keep up the good work in school.
I think the reward is something to look forward to. And I think that reminder too that when you do well in something, you know how to do well. So
Hmm.
when you can do that in school and then you can do it in basketball and then it has that ripple effect into all areas of your life. I heard you say I'm going to work to get to that ESPN and just keep moving to get there. That's how you will get there. You've done that before. Your parents have showed you how to do it. And it's little stacks along the way of those small little wins and routines that you do so that you can do other big things. And I think that's important to remind people. And I love that you mentioned too that your brother, I know in the first conversation, or you mentioned brothers. Do you have a couple siblings?
Yes, I have two siblings.
Okay. And your one brother, say it again.
I was going to say my one brother actually attends Brandywine too now.
Right. I remember you mentioning that before. So, and what year is he now?
He's a freshman.
Okay. So you're both there, freshman, and you're a senior. And
Yes.
does he play a sport too? Did you tell us in the first conversation?
Yes, we actually ran cross country together last
That's what
semester.
I thought. I thought you said that during the first conversation. How is that with him as a freshman? Are you helping him out? Is he kind of finding his way? I know you said you liked it because it's just you didn't really have that senior freshman year with COVID. It was weird for everybody. And you did run cross country with him. They
Yeah.
needed some runners. I know you jumped in. How is it going for him? Are you giving him advice? Are you learning from him? How's it going?
Yeah, he actually did very well. He was actually one of like the good ones on his team, and mind you, we both never ran cross country a day in our lives. So
Wait,
it's
what?
just
Your brother never did either before he got to Penn State Brandywine?
nope.
Oh, I didn't know that on the first conversation. Okay.
Yeah, so it was something new for us, so that was something that we bonded over. And then obviously being able to hang out with each other like the practices and games. And then right now we actually have some classes together. So it's really fun because I get to see him on campus with because we all hang out in the caf sometimes with him and all my
Okay.
friends. And then we'll go to class together, and then we'll just go back to the caf. We'll all hang out together. So it's very nice just to be able to like see him all the time, and then help him out with anything else he needs.
Yeah, that's cool. I did not know. I just assumed that he was a cross country runner. And I actually thought he talked you into it when we were first talking. I know you and Anna, who plays softball,
Yeah.
both ran for the cross country team that they had needed some runners this season. I just thought your brother talked you into it. So how did he end up even playing? Or even my daughter corrects me. She is a track runner. She says, "Stop saying I play track." It's something I always say because I played basketball. So how did he begin running track
Yeah,
for
so when they needed people, I remember Maisha just asking me if I would do it. And I was like, I'll do it only if my friends do it and my brother does it. So I
Okay.
went around asking some of my friends, and the ones that I asked agreed, and then also he agreed. And then I just told him, like, this is my last year. I definitely want to try to like, do some type of activity or some type of club to where we'll both be able to do it together so we can experience it together. And we figured since we both never ran cross country a day in our lives that it would be pretty fun.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you said he ended up performing pretty well, one of the top runners?
Yeah, I forget what award it was or something, but he ranked some type of number that it was pretty high. And I think it was like he was like number one on our team, but it was pretty
Okay.
high overall of out of all the runners.
So is he going to stay with it now and he's going to
Yeah,
continue to run?
Yeah, I believe he's going to continue to run for the rest of his time at Brandywine.
Does he plan on staying at Brandywine the whole time, or is he going up to Penn State, Maine?
We've talked about it. I think he wants to stay at Brandywine just because it's close to home. Also, he's the same major as me, so since they have it at Brandywine, we figured might as well just stay there.
You can get that major there. Okay. Yeah. I was curious about that. And does that happen for your team, that most of your athletes on the basketball team, and I don't know if cross country is similar, do the majority of the athletes stay for the 4 years, or do you lose some people in the 2+2 program when they go to a different campus?
Out of my whole time being at Brandywine, we've only lost one player that's gone up to Maine. That's just because she decided not to play anymore.
Oh,
But I
okay.
think when, at least for my team, when we come down here to play a sport, we kind of just know we're just going to stay here just because it just fits best for us when it comes to
Right.
playing
You
the
came, in some
sport.
ways, you went to Brandywine because you wanted to play. I mean, of course, we love Penn State too, but you wanted to play for the basketball team, or some people might have wanted to run cross country or whatever the sport is when they
Hmm.
originally decided. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was thinking for a lot of the athletes, but I wasn't sure if some people ended up. When I went there, they were still building the programs, and we really were only there for 2 years. And then we went up to main campus. So that was tough for the coaches. Every 2 years, they were having to basically rebuild.
Hmm.
And that was incredibly tough for a coaching staff to get a whole new crew in there, find leaders, because I would think as a coach, I've coached a lot of different teams, a lot of basketball teams actually. You have people that start out as freshmen and emerge as leaders, and then by the time they are seniors, they just take on that role.
Hmm.
And when you lose someone as a sophomore, that's tough. So I'm glad to hear that, actually, that the program that's how it is. So that's good. Very good. So when you are finishing up, you're still in season right now, but as you're finishing, how does it feel for you? Is it a bittersweet feeling? And how are you going to still keep basketball in your life?
Yes, it's definitely bittersweet. We actually really only have like 1 month left of the season. So, I've just kind of been like trying to take it in day by day. I don't think it's necessarily hit me yet, but I think as we get down to the final days, I will definitely be feeling it. I'm just very thankful that I was able to play basketball still and go to school and be able to do all this close to home and still have my family and my friends come to my games and watch me.
Mm.
So I think outside, because I do live so close, and since my brother will still be attending, I definitely will, make some appearances at the games, and because some of my friends will also still be playing too, so I definitely make sure I come back to see them.
Right.
And then also just working in like the sports industry after school, I'm definitely still going to be surrounded by the sport. So I'm not necessarily like sad in that aspect because I know I'm still going to be around it. I think it's just me suiting up and actually playing that's going to hit the hardest.
Yeah, it'll be different. But you're right. Since you're leaning towards and you want to go in that direction, athletics, sports in general, and you'll always have a place for, I love basketball. It'll just be a part of your, you'll be pulled in that direction, even if you're in that sports industry covering something else. You'll
Mhm.
happen to stop by and see the basketball players, so that's kind of just what happens. Let's be real for a minute. Stress is something we all deal with, right? Before work, during, after work, it's always there. But here's the thing, not every stress busting tool works for everyone. I always say if we were all the same, life would be boring. That's why I put together the Stress Buster Guide. It has a few different options. Some you'll love, some maybe not so much. And that's okay. I want you to find what clicks for you. It's totally free. Honestly, it's my most downloaded resource for a reason. After the show, I want you to go to the show notes, click the link, and grab it so you can start feeling more in control. No matter when stress hits you, there is a tool for you to calm your nervous system. You deserve to make that happen for yourself. I'm rooting for you always. Now let's get back to the podcast chat. Is there somebody that you would say has inspired the journey for you athletically and academically, either maybe at Penn State or someone outside of that for you that really helped you be successful during these 4 years?
Inspired me. That's a great question. I guess maybe some famous people, like not I don't have a
Mm.
specific person. I'll just say in general, just because I know it's definitely taking them some time to get there. It's definitely very hard. I think just like seeing when people that are playing above you maybe make a mistake or like don't do so well one season or whatever, that kind of gives me some type of relief in a way. I don't have to be perfect either. If they're in the NBA, WNBA doing XYZ, I can be at this level doing XYZ and still, feel okay. Because I definitely do think I'm very hard on myself, and I definitely do try to push myself to be like the best of the best. But life doesn't work like that sometimes. So
Yeah. And I
definitely
think
just
that's important to one, acknowledge it, that you're hard on yourself. And there are other people examples out there in the NBA, WNBA, maybe even in ESPN and different places who are open and say, I made a mistake here. I'm not perfect. Or they're talking about it after everyone highlights it in this world of social media and everything on video. People are very quick to say, look what they did wrong. It's really easy for us to pick apart somebody else's mistakes, and we're so hard on ourselves. But when you can see that someone says, yeah, I'm not perfect, it helps us say, wait, maybe I don't have to be perfect. It's okay to learn from it. And you had said earlier, maybe even you mentioned your parents, or maybe you had said it a couple minutes ago, you said something about you have to fail to learn and that it helps you grow. Did you experience that during college at all, or just life in general?
Yes, definitely actually both. Coming in my freshman year, we didn't have that many players, so I definitely received a lot of minutes, and I think I did pretty well my freshman year. So then coming back my sophomore year, um, I didn't play as much. Wasn't doing as good as I wanted to do. I definitely after that year, and I also had some things like personally outside of basketball that were affecting me as well, and I definitely just felt like I wanted to just give up and just
Mm.
quit. But I just took some time off, and then, like I said, I always just tell myself, like, you didn't make it this far for no reason, and as long as you work hard, like, you're gonna succeed eventually. So I just told myself, I'll give myself off for like a month or two, and then I'm gonna get back into the gym, and we're just gonna push. And then I came back stronger than ever my junior year, and that really just
Love
opened up
it.
my eyes. Sometimes you really just need to fail or don't feel your best, and then pick yourself back up, and then you'll see like all the good things after that that come with it.
Yeah. And when you can look at it like that, that failure is research, you can
Hmm.
learn from it, pick yourself back up and keep going, and look at it as a challenge instead of an obstacle that you can't get around. When you look at it like that, like, okay, all right, challenge accepted. I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm going to do this. I would say to people too, you have said it a couple times, and I mean, maybe even steal it for yourself, that if you write those things down, I didn't come this far. And I know you said, well, I don't necessarily say it to myself all the time, but if somebody listening right now, or even you, as you're stepping into the next version of you as you graduate, if you intentionally say that every single day, even on the days when it's not tough, the moments when it's not tough, and you're saying, I didn't come this far to only come this far, or whatever, it has to be your words, the people who are listening. You don't have to steal Sierra's words or my words, but think about the things that you whisper to yourself in the tough moments and make a conscious effort to put it into your life. Say it in the morning, write it down on a post-it note, put it on your phone. Literally start saying it and doing it every day when things are good. Say it in the
Mhm.
shower. Say it all the time. Become it. And then when things are tough, you will lean on it and you will say it and you will see opportunities, because when tough moments come, there's a difference between someone who's successful and someone who decides like, I'm just going to say, well, I'm a victim to this. And I can't do anything about it. The coach didn't send film, or I didn't get the job, or I'm not getting minutes in the game, whatever the situation is. You can stay and be a victim of those things, or you can keep saying those words that I didn't come this far to only come this far, or whatever your words are. Make sure you take your words, not just me and Sierra. It's important, because if it's not your words, it won't really land well. And then you can decide that you are actually going to move forward and make a change. And that's the difference between success and somebody who is average. I mean, you'll be okay if you don't, you're not going to not do anything in life, but you won't probably level up to where you really could be living in that flow state, like when you love basketball, because you can have that in every day, but you have to be willing to push yourself there. So it's kind of a weird thing with your brain, but I hope anyone listening right now steals it and starts putting it into their life all the time. I'm going to remind myself. I have things I say to myself all the time, and I need to probably do it more often myself.
Yeah, 'cause I
So
think
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think if you just, keep reminding yourself, whether it's like just you're telling yourself in your head or you're writing it down, like eventually your brain has no choice but to believe yourself. So, and even I think looking in the mirror sometimes is a good thing. Like you just tell yourself like, whatever your case is, like I'm meant to be here, or I'm doing good, X, Y, and Z. It's definitely gonna fall through and you'll be okay.
Yeah, looking in a mirror is really powerful. And I do something called mirror work. A lot of people, we look in a mirror actually often, putting my mascara on, getting ready, even just giving a quick glance. Do I look like a hot mess? And we don't really look in a mirror. If we are being honest, a lot of us don't stop and actually get weird and look into our eyes and pause for a minute and think, why am I so upset about this? Why am I angry? What else is causing me to be feeling some sort of way about this situation? Is it actually that this person is telling me whatever they said? Or is there something that I'm holding on to from, I don't know, 5 years ago that I'm not willing to admit that I didn't deal with, whatever it might be. Like for me, when I left my teaching career, I really didn't fully let myself deal with the fact that some of the people I worked with said some pretty terrible things to me and about leaving, about making this change where who are they, right? But I was almost like, well, this is what I said back to them. But I was still hurt and angry and didn't deal with it. And when you can look in the mirror and figure out what's really going on here and change your words, it can be very powerful. And when you say those things, I didn't come this far, and you're looking in the mirror at yourself, saying it takes it to a whole new level. I bring it into schools. I bring mirrors in. We do all kinds of stuff with mirrors, athletes. And it's weird for people at first, but once they start doing it, same thing. Like you're just saying it over and over, just like you just said, your brain has no choice but to say, this is who we become. And it is kind of crazy because you can't see inside your brain for people to think, is that real? I'm telling you that if people who are listening right now, if you try this, just start doing it for the next week or two, see what happens. And you're going to see that things start showing up in your world because your brain wants to prove that you're right. And it's just it's not magic, it's science, and it's pretty powerful. So, and if more people did that, especially when they were young or athletes, they would perform better. But we could do a whole episode on that kind of thing. Maybe I should. I don't know. But all right. Well, I have loved talking with you and hearing about your journey. I think you have a lot of exciting things ahead. I can't wait to see you on ESPN, by the way. I'm really excited for that. I know that it's going to happen because you've already put it out there. And when you start saying those things, like we just said, keep saying that and see yourself doing that. And that is going to happen for you. I'll probably be telling people, oh, I knew her. I'll be bringing these clips up and telling people about it. I'm excited for that for you. I would just encourage you to keep going. All the things that you're saying to people as advice, keep going. Is there anything that you would give as advice to somebody who's coming in as maybe a freshman into their, beginning of their college journey as an athlete?
I would just say don't count yourself out right away because you never really know. Like I said, I came in thinking I wasn't going to even touch the court, but we didn't have that many players, so I did play a lot of minutes. So I would just say don't count yourself out, don't doubt yourself, and just, keep working hard. I kept saying this whole podcast, whatever you put your mind to, you're going to succeed, and as long as you work hard, you're going to get there.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. Everybody listening, you got to steal that from Sierra because it's true. All right, Sierra, well, I ask everyone this question. If you had the opportunity to go back to any day or forward to any day in your life, just one day and hang out, where are you going to head and what are you going to do for that day?
You said for the future as well?
Yep, forward or back, wherever you want to go.
I think last time I said back, so this time I'm gonna go to the future. Um, and I would just say, I would tell myself everything is going to be okay. You don't have to stress and worry about what your future holds for you because, like I keep saying, as long as you work hard, you're gonna get there. I know that, God has a good plan for me, and whatever happens, happens. So, yeah, I think honestly, I would just have my future self tell myself that everything is going to be okay. Also, to live in the moment. Stop
Yeah,
stressing about everything that's going on now and just live in the moment because, life is too short and you can't take anything for granted. So you just have to, just be present and just live in the moment.
I love it. So going forward, just have a little chat with that future version of you. And then she's going to say, get back there, live in the moment. I love it. I love that answer. It's wonderful in so many ways. Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for hanging out with us. Is there any places that you want people to connect with you, that they can follow along or connect with you for future career opportunities when they want you on ESPN? Anywhere?
Yeah, so I have Instagram. I put the link in the email that you sent me. Did you need me
Perfect.
to?
I'll drop that in the show notes. Okay.
Yes, I have Instagram if anyone would like to follow me. I do have a LinkedIn account, but I need to, kind of tweak that up before I go out there and put myself out there yet. As of right now, Instagram is probably the best way. You could just see anything that I post on there. And if anyone ever wants to reach out to me on there, I can, respond back on that too.
Perfect. So we will drop the Instagram link right in the show notes. You can go click on that, start to follow Sierra. And I know last time all the athletes told us, I will also put that Penn State link on there so you can go check out some of the basketball stuff and all the other sports that are happening there. You can check out some things that are going on over at Penn State. Thank you so much again, Sierra, for hanging out. I loved hearing a little bit more about your journey and just some things that I didn't know about. And I wish you the best in the future and all
Of
that you
course.
do.
Yes, thank you for having me on here again. It was a pleasure. I love doing these with you. And yeah, I'm very excited to see what we do or what you do in the future as well. And I'll definitely be
Thank
tuning
you.
into your other podcasts.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for hanging out with us on The Champion Within, and go crush the rest of your week.
Thank you for hanging out with Kate today. And whether you're going to coach, teach, cheer from the sidelines, or hitting the field yourself, remember, mindset is everything. Don't forget to follow the show for the latest episodes, as we all need a little extra motivation, humor, and sanity in our busy lives. Now, go and unleash your champion within you, one step at a time. We're always rooting for you.